I am trying to be a little bit less psycho on TikTok because obviously I had my little meltdown the other day. This TikTok that Clinton Kane had posted saying when I've been over the relationship for 2 years and she just can't stop yapping about it.
Okay, y'all, so this is Brooke, and Brooke is an actress and influencer. She also has a podcast with her homegirl called Canceled, and pretty much on the podcast they talk about their personal relationships and where they have messed up at or whatever. She's around the age of 27 years old, and she was dating this Australian singer named Clinton Kane. Now, Clinton had made a new song. It went all crazy on TikTok, and he posted a snippet of it with some captions that was taking some digs at her. So she seen it and she was like, oh, so you want to talk about me yapping about our relationship that's been over for 2 years? Well, let's tell everybody what happened in our relationship since you want to sit up there and be up there singing. And I was like, oh, shoot, we don't like to get into people's business, but we might as well get into this one. So what's up, my friends? And welcome back once again to the Just Case and Brand. I'm your homegirl, I'm your tia, I'm your prima, I'm your cousin, I'm your friend, I'm whatever you need me to be down here at the Just Case and Branch. Now, if you could, please go ahead, like the video, comment your thoughts down below. Do y'all like TikTok stories? Because if you do, I'm going to keep on finding them, and subscribe to the channel. Share this with a friend, because you never know who might be at work on a Tuesday and feel like they need to have some entertainment indeed. Now, girl, I was going to get on camera, but then I looked at my hair and I look crazy. I look crazy. I look homeless. I look how I shouldn't. So I'm gonna just stay offline, but we gonna talk about it.
No, seriously, part one, who the f I marry. I am trying to be a little bit less psycho on TikTok because obviously I had my little meltdown the other day and that was probably like enough for this week. But when I opened my phone today to a million texts from all my friends of this TikTok that Clinton Kane had posted saying, what did he say? He said like, when I've been over the relationship for 2 years and she just can't stop yapping about it, which first of all, hilarious. Like, no shit, I can't stop yapping, but
why?
The nerve. Now, obviously we broke up 2 years ago, okay? And that was a very, very different time in my life. I was, first of all, unmedicated, okay? And that is a very...
So basically you telling us that since you were off your medication, that's why you chose to date him, which, girl, I agree, because when y'all see what this sucker look like, you gonna be like, girl, ain't no way you look like this and he look like that. And he sat up there, he lied in your face and he played on you. Mind you, yes, they were in a relationship 2 years ago. Girl, guess how long the relationship lasted? 3 months. 3 months.
A very important factor in this story because I get so many comments that are like, Brooke, what on earth were you going through? And I agree. I really don't know. That was a different girl. I was bamboozled. Now, I get a lot of comments about his appearance and the way he shakes, okay? And those are two things that I'm gonna leave off limits for my story time because I feel like that's low-hanging fruit and it's obvious it doesn't even need to be addressed. Believe
he has these shakes, which there is an actual medical diagnosis of someone having shakes. I'm not sure or too familiar with what all it entails, but with the way this dude be lying, I would find it hard to believe that he really has this medical condition. So, yeah.
Or not, that was not even really the problem. The fact of the matter is I ended up in a relationship with this man because I was a fan, honestly. I knew of him because of his music. I loved his song Chicken Tendies or whatever. Tana and I would literally blast it on a loop at our old house and like,
girl, don't ever admit to being a fan and that's why you got with somebody. Be like, oh, I met him because I'm fine as hell and you know he seen me from across the room and was like, what's up? And I was like, oh, hey, oh, you a singer, right? Don't ever come on here saying that you was a man's fan. Don't do that.
Like, we were obsessed with it, okay? So randomly one day I get a DM from this artist. It's Clinton Kane. And I remember telling Tana like, oh my God, like how funny, he just messaged me. And he starts just like asking me questions, whatever. And he asks if I want to go to dinner. And I'm like, I'm looking at his profile and I don't know if I want to go to dinner. Okay?
Could have went with your first mind. Always go with that first mind, ladies. Always go with that instinct. That instinct gonna tell you the truth.
I'm replying anyway, and he asks, he's like, what about tomorrow? I'll fly you to Vegas. I go, what the fuck? I didn't know he lived in Vegas. So I say no, and that's the end. Part 2, who the fuck did I marry? Like I said, he lived in Vegas, so I obviously was not gonna go to dinner with him because he's a stranger, okay? But he persisted, all right? Of course, of the next few months, he would slide up on all my stories, message me constantly. Some would call him obsessed, honestly.
That pressure,
but
girl.
What am I gonna do? I'm not gonna fly to meet a stranger, okay? But one day, I get a DM where he says, hey, I have a show tomorrow in LA, like, would you wanna come? And again, I loved his music, so I was like, absolutely, I will definitely come, because it's like, that's so much less pressure. I don't wanna go to dinner with this man. Like I said, I saw his profile, but I wanna see the show. So I asked BB to come with me and we get ready to go, okay? Remember so specifically the outfit that I wore, because again, this guy has been messaging me so much online that I'm like, I know he like loves me. So I wore the ugliest outfit.
I don't know. A part of me feels like she is kind of hyping up how unattracted she was to him at the beginning. Because if you were so unattracted to this man and he invited you out to the concert and stuff and you knew that you were super unattracted to him, I feel like you would act that way. Like you would carry yourself that way. And it doesn't seem natural with how she's telling it. You feel me? I don't know. Tell me what you think down in the comments. But I feel like she's embellishing this part of the story.
You could find, like, BB knows, I said it to her, I was like, I just want like to look as unattractive like to him as possible, because I just don't want that to be the vibes. All right.
And if you don't want that to be the vibes, girl, why didn't you just tell him, yes, I'll come to your show, but I want to let you know up front, I just look at you like a homeboy. I just look at you as a partner. I just look at you as a friend. I am not attracted to you. I do not want to take it to the next level. Is it still okay for me to come to your show? That way, if something happens and he's like, oh, I thought that you were going to stay after and do blow with me and get crazy on my waterbed, you could be like, I already told you we were just friends, so don't even try to push up on me like that. That's why I asked you before I came up here, because you thinking now that I done came to your show for free, like I couldn't afford the $37 ticket, I'm supposed to give up some chocha. No, So you should have made that a little bit more clear.
She and I go to dinner and we go to the show. It's amazing, okay? He was amazing. I don't know what's happened since then, but he was slaying at the time. After the show, we go upstairs. I think he was at like El Rey Theater or something. And everybody's like mingling. A few of my friends were there. I remember Max and Cover were there. Markel was there. One of my best friends, Justin Horowitz, was there. Like, I was like mingling with friends, and he like came over to me and started talking to me, whatever. And we like hit it off. And I'm gonna tell you guys something that you might not believe, but he looked really good, honestly. He was way taller than I thought, and he had a really cool outfit on, and I was like, you know what? He's not as bad as I thought he was.
Girl, just say you had one too many glasses of wine. Just say you had one too many glasses of wine, because I know there's been a time or two in my life when I've been at the club and a man looked so fine when I was intoxicated. I mean, so fine. But girl, one time the lights came on and them eyes was not pointing in the same direction. One eye was somewhere else. One eye was looking into another part of the club, and another eye was looking straight at me. And I said to myself, I could never do this to myself again. I can never like somebody under intoxication, because I know you and your homegirl probably pregame before y'all went up there. So y'all had pregamed or whatever, then y'all went up there, and then you was like, oh, this is such a good time. Oh, he really up there singing. Woo, 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 woo. Then y'all go backstage, or you go back to the little party, and he's talking real cool and he looked real cool. But again, everybody's intoxicated, so you can't really trust yourself at that point. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so we end the night. I go home. Nothing happens, and he texts me after the show, and he's like, would you want to come back tomorrow? And I had an amazing time. I like loved the show, so I was like, you know what? I'll go back. Amari also loved his music, so I texted Amari and I was like, would you want to come? Would you want to come with me to see Clinton Kane tomorrow? And whatever. I bring Amari the next day, okay? Same show. We do the same thing after, and then Amari and I go back on his bus, okay? And honestly, we had such a good time. Like, we're like cracking up on the bus. We're with a bunch of friends. Amari's having the best time. I'm having the best time. He's funny. He's cool. He's like charismatic. I'm like, you know what? Like, maybe he's not that bad, okay? We all get off the bus and go to the club. We all get super drunk, and me and him end up like making out.
What I say? What did I say, homegirl? What did I motherfucking say, girl? Didn't I say it? Didn't I call it? I said, if you just was tipsy, girl, just stay mad. Because everybody fine when you tipsy, so you got to be sober. That's advice to our younger homegirls. Girl, if he look kind of cute while you're drunk, he look ugly as hell when you sober.
We're like very much together at the club, and that was the start of something very horrible. Okay, part 3, who the fuck did I marry? All right, so after the club, he and I went alone to a little diner in LA called Mel's Diner. It's 24 hours. You can go after the club, get fries, shakes, whatever.
This is the part where I feel like we romanticize our stories when we have like a toxic relationship. We're like, girl, no, everything was good. Everything was good. I have absolutely no idea how it got bad. Like, everything was good. Like, I remember we had went to see Cinderella in person, and she was like, hey, Jess, you want to try on my glass slippers? And I was like, nah. But then my man, I didn't know he was toxic because he was so nice to Cinderella. He convinced Cinderella to let me wear her glass slippers. So it really did surprise me when he cold cock punched me in my head, because I had never seen him do that, except for that time when we was at the boxing ring and he punched a wall because he couldn't get in the ring to defend his friend. Other than that, I have never seen him be like this. So we really had a romantic time that was very dreamlike, fairy tale like, girl.
And he and I order literally every single thing on the menu, and we sit there for like 4 hours and just talk, okay? And this is the point where he tells me about what had happened to him in the year prior, all right? This would have been, I guess, 2020, like during COVID, okay? He tells me his mom, his dad, and his brother all died in the same year, okay? Which is fucking horrible. Like, obviously just unimaginable. So I'm like blown away. I knew that his mom had died because he had openly talked about like how one of his songs was about her and stuff, but I had no idea about the rest of his family. So I was like, holy shit, first of all. And I feel like I completely changed my opinion about him, because I'm like, at this point, I'm thinking he's just like this weirdo sliding into my DMs, and now he's very like human to me, because I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe you could overcome something like that. Like, that's insane. This is very important to the story, okay? Because I need you guys to understand how I ended up in this scenario, all right? Then he starts telling me how he got into music. He's telling me how he was homeless and he would backpack around Europe, like literally sleep on benches and busk, like in parks, to make money, and he got discovered, whatever. And then obviously, I Guess I'm in Love came out, and he was really successful from that song.
See, this has been the part where I start asking real intricate, detailed questions. I wanted you to listen to the entire story about his mama being dead, his daddy being dead, his brother being dead, because I would have had a little bit more questions. So you had this hard life where everybody dead. Then you had to be homeless and just make it out there as a musician, you know. You're trying to survive, you're backpacking where you can, sleeping where you will, asking people, hey man, you mind if I wash some dishes, maybe play a tune or two just to eat tonight? You had it so hard. Mind you, this dude been on TikTok. He been making a little TikTok money on. He has a support system around him. So it's like, I don't know why you would lie about stuff that's obvious that I could figure out. And girl, Brooke, see girl? Now, if I was your homegirl, I would have came to your apartment and been like, nah, I should slap you. Because I know good and well you felt a little sensation that said, dang, so you have all of this stuff that's gone wrong with you, and then out of nowhere you have the come up of a lifetime. But if I just look at your TikTok history, that's not necessarily true. Like, that's it. That's all you gotta do is look at his TikTok history, and you can figure out really quick. It doesn't, the timelines and the stories don't match. So that would naturally produce questions. Always become an FBI agent if you can when you first meet somebody. I promise you're gonna wanna do that. Like, girl, let me tell you, I got a homegirl right now. I don't care who it is. If I give her a name and a city and state, she'll be able to find all the information I need to know about him before I go on a date with him. Which part of it is because I want to be nosy, make sure they ain't got no baby mama, ex-wives, or something that's still lurking around that I got to deal with. Two, it's because these people be crazy out here. So I'm like, Brooke, you have every opportunity to do your due diligence on this man, but proceed.
But I'm just looking at this guy like, I have never met anybody like you, because first of all, I could never be touring a year after like that kind of extreme tragedy, first of all. Second of all, you would never catch me dead sleeping on a bench on purpose. So I was like, this guy's really like special. For who the fuck did I marry? Okay, so we had this whole night at this diner. We talked forever. And I got to know a lot about him, okay? He told me all about how he had grown up in Australia, in Perth, Australia. He talked about how he grew up like super wealthy in like an 8-bedroom house on the beach in Australia. His mom was a pastor. He said she was a pastor at Hillsong United, which is like one of the biggest churches, I guess, in Australia.
Hear what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? All of the things that he lied about can be traceable. How you come from a completely wealthy family, I'm assuming if they were to pass away, you would be involved in some sort of inheritance, a trust, a will, something. So how, boy, make the dots connect before I connect my foot to your ass.
I don't know. He studied medicine, which I loved because I was like technically pre-med when I was in college also. I didn't graduate, but it doesn't matter. So I was like, oh my God, we have that in common. Like, he's like a really well-rounded, like amazing guy, okay? And like I said, he doesn't live in LA. So the next night he calls me and he's like, listen, I have a date planned for us. I'm picking you up at 8, whatever. And he does, okay? We go on this date. It's like a beautiful restaurant, whatever. We have the best time. We talk forever. We go to the beach, yada, yada. I go home. And the next day, he calls me and he says, I am so sorry and I'm so afraid to tell you, but I just got on set for my music video and I tested positive for COVID. Obviously, I had just like had this whole extravagant date with him the night before. I would 100% have COVID. We were like making out on the beach the whole night, which is like traumatizing but true. Okay, so I'm like, this man gave me COVID. And he's like, there's nothing I can do. I'm so sorry, but like, obviously we both have it. So I'm quarantining at the one hotel if you want to come and stay with me. So I was like, I mean, like, fuck, like I have COVID now. I have 2 roommates. Like, guess I gotta go.
You know, good and well, you were happy to go. Don't even try it. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to go up here to stay with him while you're packing up your bag with a smile on. And since this was during COVID times, I'm kind of surprised that she was like making out with anybody like that, seeing as how they're both in the like in the limelight, in the public circles. They're both influencers, you know, they're in that sort of social circle. So I'm kind of surprised that she would even be making out with somebody. And the old, oh, we got COVID, let's quarantine together relationship. Them relationships didn't last about a year, 2 years past the COVID time. There's so many babies that was born during that time who will never see their parents together because that was just a bubble time in history. Now we all out of it, that now we got remnants of what happened during COVID. Poor her.
I don't know, again, unmedicated. I show up to the hotel, okay? And I move in with the man. Part 5, who the fuck did I marry, okay? So I'm at the one hotel, one of the most beautiful hotels in all of Los Angeles, okay? It's like several $1,000s a night for like a nice room. So I'm living the life. We're ordering room service every night. We're just having so much fun. And I'm like, you know what?
Love bombing.
Maybe I date this guy. Keep in mind, we are not separating, so I have no opportunity to view his online presence, all right? Because that is another really important factor to the story because...
Girl, are you crazy? I could be cuddled up with somebody and still be able to view their online presence. You know why? Because I'm gonna figure out a way to turn my body around so that I can get on my phone. Definitely, I'm gonna figure out a way. And then, so girl, you telling me that you never went and cacad? Huh? You telling me that you never went into the bathroom and was like, oh, I don't want him to see me like this. Let me go ahead and take care of my womanly areas. You ain't never had no time like that. Girl, yes, you did. Stop trying to make excuses for why you wasn't on your job because you knew better. You knew better.
I seen the shaking that was occurring. I might have thought differently. Okay? But he's in person, he's really normal, he's charismatic, he's Australian, he's a beautiful musician, he's singing to me and playing guitar every night. I'm like, you know what? I'm falling for him, okay?
Girl, if you see this man's teeth, there ain't no way you thought this to yourself.
I know, but you asked. As more time passes, we eventually move to like an Airbnb in Marina Del Rey because he wanted to be by the beach. And so we go over there. And this man is not allowing me to go home, okay? This was the first major red flag. Like if I...
Who ain't allowing who to go home? Who ain't allowing who to go home? Because I already know. I got about 7 people I can send a scared face to, and they gonna come to wherever I'm at. Because who ain't letting who go home? I wish a man would tell me I'm about to keep you in this Airbnb because we both got COVID. Okay, well, I'm ready to go home. No, you ain't. You staying here. What? All right, now when I start to Krishan rock your head, don't say nothing to me. Don't say nothing to me. When I start tearing up this Airbnb, don't say nothing to me. Oh, you want me to stay? Oh, now you want me to leave, don't you? Girl, I'd have figured out any type of way to get out of there.
I had a morning where I was like, okay, like I want to go home and like get new clothes and shower and like just be a human and be alone for a second. He would immediately like shut down, like, why don't you want to be with me? Why would you want to go home? Can I come with you? Like, just very strange. And I did not like that. A normal person would have seen this as like a big, major, like, no in a relationship, okay? But I am not a normal person. So I was like, he wants to be with me all the time. He is obsessed with me.
Brooke, girl.
Of course. You know what I mean?
Brooke, I'm gonna fight you. She said, of course you want to follow me everywhere I go. I know you in love with me. If I wasn't me, I'd be in love with me. Listen, if I wasn't me, I'd be obsessed with me like you are. I'd want to be inside me like a tampon as well if I was not I. Okay, girl, you know what? I can't even knock your confidence. You right, you got it.
So unfortunately, I believed it was a good thing at the time, all right? And I had a bunch of people in my ear. I had like mutual friends. Like Zach Sang was a really important one too, okay? We were all hanging out together all the time, and when Clinton like maybe wasn't around, I would have these people in my ear like, Brooke, if you do not date this man, you are so stupid. Like, first of all, he's gonna be huge. He's so talented. He's so special. He has.
Did you hear what they said? He's gonna be huge. He's gonna be huge. Oh, so her homegirls was like, girl, this is your meal ticket for right now. This boy about to blow. You know that lifestyle you've been wanting to live? You know how you've been having a waitress on the weekends? Girl, this is your ticket up out of that. Okay, so just work with him. Work with his crooked teeth and his fake ass shakes and his fake Australian accent. Just work with it until, you know, you cool. So you'll be a dummy not to make yourself fall in love with this gremlin.
Like the most amazing story, like you have to date him, okay? And one thing about me is I'm easily influenced.
No, friend, no. Brooke, girl, no, don't be easily influenced. You're too beautiful for that. You got too much opportunity to do whatever you want to be easily influenced.
6, who the fuck did I marry, okay? We are now in a committed relationship, all right? And one thing about Clinton is he loved to go on a trip. All right, he wanted to get me as far away from everybody else as possible. So this time it was Joshua Tree. He's like, let's go to Joshua Tree. Let's just spend the weekend. It'll be so relaxing, amazing, whatever. We can work. Great. On the way there, we get pulled over. In his car, he drove a Model X at the time. And when the cop asked for license and registration, he gave his license, his Australian license, and he gave the registration to the car, which was not his car. So I thought that was strange. And then the cop is like reciting his information back to him, and he says, you were born in 1999. And what? I am under the impression that my boyfriend is a year younger than me, okay? And this would make him like 4 years younger than me. I'm like, that's really strange, but we keep going, and I ask him about it, and he's like, oh, like, that's a fake ID. I got it mixed up. We got lucky. And I'm in my head like,
there ain't no way I would have believed that. I'd have been like, no, okay, now the lies have got to stop, okay? We're getting pulled over. If this police officer asks me anything, I need to make sure I know what to say. So tell me right now, what's your real name? What's your real age? Are you really Australian? Like, I would have been running him down at that point, because now you lying too much. At this point, you just lying too much.
That doesn't happen, but whatever. Also, who has a fake ID to appear younger?
Nobody, girl. He been lying to you since the top of this. We all saw it. That's why we're all a little mad at you, girl. Because you're too beautiful to be this stupid when it comes to a man that looked like that. Now, if it was a man that looked like just a beautiful Greek god, we might have understood. But with this man, girl, no.
Anyway, we go to Joshua Tree, and we have this whole little trip, whatever. We're barbecuing and hot tubbing and having this whole little couples vacation, okay? And everything is going perfect until the nighttime, all right? And this is when we had our first major blowout fight, all right? This is a very important turning point because our entire relationship was blowout fights, okay?
Friend, I was gonna interrupt you and say, girl, it should have been a blowout fight when he didn't let you go home to change your clothes and get whatever you wanted to get from your house. That should have been a blowout fight. But now you're saying y'all been done had these fights.
But what's important about them is that they were literally out of thin air, okay? So this one was because we're eating our dinner that we made, okay? And I am looking at my phone, okay? Keep in mind, I'm not at a family dinner. We are on a couples retreat where we have spent every single second together for the past 48 hours. Why would I not be allowed to look at my phone? This is when he proceeded to tell me it's a major trigger of his for someone to not pay 100% attention to him at dinner time because that's what his mom used to do to him, all right? And his mom...
No, we are not over here dealing with these mommy issues like this. My mom used to do that to me. My mom, she would look at her cell phone while I was looking at her, and she wouldn't pay any attention to me. Do you know how angry that makes me? That's a trigger of mine. Oh, it's a trigger? Oh, boy, you crazy as hell. You crazy. I got to back up from you, boy.
He was very neglectful. He had a horrible relationship with her, and it was really traumatic. Obviously, everything is unresolved since she has died, and so anything that reminds him of his mother is a no, okay? And he went insane. I tell you, I have never seen a man like just pout and throw like a literal tantrum this way. I was like,
unattractive.
How do I undo that? I cannot be.
This is why we don't like dating men who are younger than us. Like, yeah, 4 years might not seem like a difference, but when you're in your 20s, I don't care what nobody say, girl, them men, their minds still be stuck in high school when they're 20, 21. So it's like, it's hard to date that young. And then stuff like this, you're throwing a temper tantrum because I'm looking at something on my phone. As a 34-year-old woman, that is so unattractive. Being out of control with your emotions, that's so unattractive because I know how to control my emotions. You feel me? And you acting like a big ass baby and throwing a temper tantrum at the table is going to cause me to punch you. And I don't want to do that to you. I don't want to do that to you at this nice fancy restaurant. So control your shit.
In a relationship with this man. Part 7, you guys, he said she can't stop yapping. I'm like, I will show you yapping, okay? So we just had our first major blowout fight, all right? And this is when I first found out like how he behaves in an argument, which was like a child. Like literally you could not talk any sense into him. It was so irrational, and it was just like you could not get through to him. There was no like compromise. It was like you just had to apologize even though he was so unbelievably wrong every single time. Girl. Oh my God, it was infuriating. And the overwhelming common theme of all of our arguments was that I was worsening his trauma, and he can't believe that I'm so insensitive to everything that he has been through. I remind him so much of his mother, who was so horrible to him, and I should be way more sensitive to everything that he is going through.
Let me tell you something. I remember I had gotten broken up with by this dude. I was begging him to stay with me, girl. I mean, begging, crying, pleading, please, please, please don't break up with me. So he was taking a shower one morning, and I had been spending the whole night just praying, begging God to help us to stay together. And I went in the shower and I was like, hey, I wanted to see if we could talk about us. It feels like we're not on the same page still, and I feel like you're still mad at me. He opened that shade, girl. He looked me dead in my eyes and he said, I could do better than you. I deserve better than you. I want better than you. So nah, we ain't fixing this. And I just felt like my heart broke. I had moved me and my son into his house and everything. Like, he had an issue with my family, so I had kind of separated myself a little bit from them just to get closer to him and his family. And he had the nerve to look at me and say that. I was so heartbroken. I will never allow a man to show me or tell me too many times that my presence is not appreciated, or that I'm becoming like something that's toxic to him or this or that. Oh, you ain't got to tell me, but once and a half. Once you get to that half point on that second time that you're trying to get to that second time of telling me how I'm not good for you, oh boy, I'm out that door. I am out that door. You don't got to tell me, you don't got to tell me, you don't got to tell me. Because let me tell you something, I already grew up in a childhood where I had people talking to me crazy, talking down to me. You think I'm gonna let a man who I'm laying up with, who's putting his Johnson in my chocha, you think I'm gonna let you make me feel like I'm a lesser than? Oh, sir, no, I'm gonna get out of here.
And of course, I'm like, I get that. You know what I mean? Like, the man lost 3 family members in 1 year. I'm like, he is going through a lot, so I have to give him like a little bit of grace.
But your understanding does not have to necessarily mean you have to sacrifice how you feel. Sure, he might have been dealing with trauma, but if he hasn't worked that out, then he can't be throwing that onto you. He can't be dumping that onto you. You didn't kill them people. You didn't do nothing to them people. You just came around and went on a couples retreat. That's all you did. So no, girl.
But it became a situation where I felt like I was like mothering this man, and like if I did anything wrong, or if I like literally split my attention for even 1 second, he went ballistic because he was like a little infant baby child. I want to be sensitive to his situation, but it was like way too much for me to handle because I'm already, you guys know, I'm emotionally unstable, okay? And I have no business fixing whatever was like seriously very wrong with him.
There you go.
I would go out with my friends. Like I remember one night I was at dinner with Tana, and he's blowing me up, like literally sending me novels about how he drank an entire fifth of vodka. He's gonna drive. I need to get to him right now, or
get in that car then. Get in that car. Get in the car. Go ahead. Matter of fact, pour you another fifth in another water bottle and get in that car. Go ahead, because if you think I'm about to have a guilty conscience because you making dumb decisions, trying to control me, see, you're trying to do self-harm in order to control me having fun with my friends because you can't be up under me and see exactly what I'm doing because you have insecurity issues and problems within yourself. Now that you got with a baddie, a beautiful woman, you don't know how to handle it. So now you about to just drink and drive because I'm not at home. Get in the car then. Get in the car and call me if you make it, okay? And if you don't make it, well, I guess I won't receive no call or no text messages, so I guess I'll be clear about it.
he's gonna do crazy things. Like it was just so manipulative, and I was not equipped. Part 8, I think. I am honestly not sure. I'm just trying not to spare you any details. So I'm in my relationship with my little baby man child, and he still lives in Vegas, okay? So we are technically in a long distance relationship, but we never separate. So either I'm in Vegas staying with him, or he is living with me. Or we'd get like an Airbnb in Marina Del Rey, whatever, it doesn't matter. We are never separating. And at this time, his album was about to come out, okay? So like he was doing the whole rollout. He was like really getting in the zone. And I was just constantly there for like all the work that he was doing. And this album was special because it was his first piece of work that he was putting out since everything had happened and since everyone had died, okay? And the whole album was about that, of course. And as a part of his little press tour, he went on the Zach Sang show, okay? If you are not familiar, Zach Sang is an interviewer. He does like huge celebrity interviews, and he gets really deep and talks about like life and music and everything. Zach is also one of his best friends. So Zach like knows his story very well, and he does the interview accordingly, okay? He's asking like all the questions about his mom, about the funerals, about his brother, about his dad, everything. And he is answering, obviously. And he's talking about how he had to attend the funerals during COVID, and he had to do it via Zoom because of like everything that was going on. And he is really just going in this interview in his Australian accent. And the interview comes out. I was staying with him at an Airbnb at the time, and I posted a TikTok with him in it. Okay? Mm-hmm. And in my comments, I started getting girls going, uh-oh, like,
what do you
not
mean?
him. And I immediately was like, wait, what?
Oh.
And I have a girl tell me, like, oh, by the way, he cheated on his ex-girlfriend with literally 15 girls. And before this, he had told me that his ex, who I Guess I'm in Love is about, by the way, one of the most beautiful songs ever. People use it as their wedding song. It's like, I mean, it's his biggest song. He told me that the girl that was about had cheated on him. Okay, so this was news to me. And I asked him about it. I'm like, did you cheat on her? Like, it was the most nonchalant thing in the world. He was like, well, yeah. I'm like,
see, this is your chance and your opportunity to be like, I told you, you got me effed up. You want to keep sitting up here lying? And you think I ain't about to clock it every single time? So how old are you? Who is your ex-girlfriend? Is your mama dead or not? Tell me right now. See, because he acting way too nonchalant now. Way too nonchalant. I mean, yeah, I cheated on her. Yeah, maybe about 15, 16 times. So what's up, babe? Are you going to make me some freaking popcorn or not? Because I just want to play my PS5 with my bros. So what's up?
excuse me? Part 9, I'm having so much fun, okay? So we just found out that he cheated on his ex-girlfriend, who I Guess I'm in Love is about, okay? Beautiful love song, you can't imagine that he could possibly do something bad to her, right? Wrong. He was cheating on her the whole time, all right?
Oh my God.
And what I realized when I really looked into it is I was one of the girls. Because, like I said...
I see what he done did. So he don't know how to break up relationships, so he just gets another relationship started while he's in his former relationship, and when the relationship don't work out, he's like, it wasn't gonna work out anyway between you and I, okay, Jennifer? I'm already with someone else anyway. Me and Brooke have something that you could never understand. What? Oh, okay, so you've been cheating the whole time.
He has been messaging me constantly for the last year, like literally sliding up on every single story I post trying to fly me out. When he tried to fly me out to dinner that time, they were actively in a relationship. So I'm sick because first of all, I feel like I somehow had like a part in it and I felt disgusting about that. And just the fact that like I could never have imagined that he was like capable of doing something like that because of how like romantic he was and like what a love bomber he was. I was like,
love bomber.
What on earth do you mean? But he's a master manipulator. So he's telling me like, I was so removed from that relationship long before we broke up and I should have just called it off and I would never do something like that again.
I went to a dinner one time with this dude who he was a perfect gentleman, great guy, attractive man in person, a little on the short side, but I was like, that's okay, whatever. I'll work with it. So we get to talking, the drinks get to flowing, and I'm like, so you're like single. I always ask men, since I had a relationship with a dude who was still married before girl, so I'm always very like, are you single? Are you single and going through a divorce? Are you single and going through a separation? Are you single but you and your baby mama still live together? Are you single? Like, are you single? You ain't got no attachments at all. I feel like she should have asked that question. So I asked dude that question or whatever. Guess what he gonna say to me? Yeah, I'm single, but me and my ex, we still stay together until this lease is up. I'm like, then no, you're not single because I could never go and stay the night at your house. Like there could not be anything really going on some grown adult dating shit because you still have your ex as a roommate. And I don't care how you try to slice it, it's going to make the relationship uncomfortable. So him being like, oh, I was already out of the relationship before it was over. I should have ended it. Yeah, you should have. And that's why I don't date dudes who are young like you, because you don't know how to just have some balls and say, I'm out of this relationship. I'm not interested in you anymore. Goodbye. Let's break up. And I'm single because I'm going to float around with these girls. You don't know how to do that. You ain't no adult.
And they were long distance. Like she lived in New York and he lived in Vegas. So it was like they really didn't spend a lot of time together. And like somehow the way that he described it to me made it seem like less bad. It was horrible. But I didn't let it go. And that was at the top of my mind. Okay? And again, we're staying together. So the next morning, I'm in bed with him when he is on a call with his manager. All right? And he is begging his manager, telling him, whatever it takes, I need you to have that interview deleted. And he's talking about the Zach Sang interview that I referenced earlier.
Now, why would he want to have an interview deleted between him and his best friend?
Okay? And I am like, what's going on? I hadn't seen the interview yet, but Zach's one of our best friends. Like, I was like, what could possibly be in this interview that is so bad that he wants it off the internet? But like Clinton's telling his manager, like, I don't care, like, just get it down. So in bed next to him, I get on my little phone and I go to the interview and I start to read the comments. And in the comments, I see someone write, this is really strange. I don't know where this Australian accent came from. He is not Australian. He is from Brunei. I grew up with him. I went to school with him. And I saw his mom last week. And you guys, I now know.
So you mean to tell me he lied about his mama being...
That my boyfriend, who I've been with for several months, who I spend every single waking second with, has literally completely fabricated every single detail about himself. I know nothing about him. And as like lighthearted and like funny as I can make the story now, like I cannot explain to you like what I felt in that moment. It was genuinely the worst feeling I've ever felt in my entire life, because it was like I've never been obviously lied to in that way, but like I spend so much time with this person. He's my best friend. I'm in love with him. I am dating him. Like he's the closest person in the world to me, and he made himself up. And just like my nature, it's impossible for me to get rid of somebody. So I knew, like, obviously what I know, I have to break up with him, and I didn't want to. So I was like, what the fuck do I do? I know that sounds so dumb coming out of my mouth now, but it was like, I knew that if I had the conversation, I had to break up with him. So I was like, I wasn't even sure that I wanted to have I almost wanted to just like pretend I didn't know. Again, I was unmedicated, but
no, you can't.
I did text him.
You can't keep on using that as an excuse. I understand once or twice, but you saying that and you living how you live and you got the career that you have, you're obviously able to make educated decisions, whether you're medicated or unmedicated. This should have been conversations you had at the top of the dating situation. And I know even for me, I used to have a hard time having those tough conversations at the beginning because I ain't gonna lie to you, I used to want a relationship so bad. I used to want a man so bad, especially if a dude was a good dude. I would overlook a lot of things because I wanted to be in a relationship with a good dude so bad. And then I had to realize, you know what? The things that I find really important, they're valuable. I value those things, and I have to have these tough conversations. I have to say these tough things to you. I have to choose my wants because you're going to do the same thing. A man is going to choose the thing that he wants. A man is going to think of himself before he thinks of someone else when it comes to a dating situation. And more women, we should do that too. We should have them hard conversations too. If she wanted to stay with him, she should just have the hard conversation. I know you lying about this. Moving forward, you lie again, we having an issue. That's how you work out a problem and keep on going.
And I said, listen to me. I'm gonna give you the opportunity right now to tell me if there's anything that you've lied to me about at all. And he racked his brain for all of 5 minutes before he told me I had lied about my age. I am 22 years old. All that, and the only thing he wanted to admit to was that he lied about his age.
So he still would lie.
10, we have reason to believe that he is A, not from Australia, faking an Australian accent, and B, he faked the death of his family. Okay?
Wild.
And like I said, I was still mad about the ex thing, so I staged this whole fight and I get the fuck out of there, which was not easy to do, okay? I don't get to leave, remember? I go home and I get on my computer so fucking fast and I look up his mother, okay, which I've never done before. She has a very specific name, all right? And I looked her up on Facebook. She has 2 accounts, okay? And on neither of them has she posted since the date that she was supposed to have died. So in my head, I'm like, okay, it's possible she's dead. But it's also possible that she is not, which like,
because if you research her name on Facebook, if you don't see any more posts from her, 9 times out of 10, y'all know how people are. They're going to post the funeral, the obituary. They're going to post something that says like, rest in peace, Mary Marie. They're going to find something to post just to show some connection with the person who has passed away. Y'all know that. So girl.
You guys, but here's the thing, okay? He had told me so many stories about his childhood and his life growing up and told me all about his mom and what she looked like. She was Norwegian and blonde, okay? He would tell me about what his house looked like and how they had nannies and maids. And he was so wealthy and his mom would leave for months at a time because she also had, like, she had all these like crazy businesses in addition to her being a pastor. Like, I don't even know how in my right mind I like did not see right through this, but he would tell me all these elaborate stories. And now I'm looking at her Facebook profile and his life was nothing of the sort, okay?
We ain't surprised, homegirl. We are not surprised. We already knew. As you was telling us, we knew he was lying. By your stories, by your accounts, so we had already put 2 and 2 together, girl. Was like, oh, he lying.
I can see the house that he grew up in Brunei, by the way, not at all in Australia. Keep in mind, I live with this man and he has a fucking Australian accent. His mom is obviously Asian, as is he, which, like, why would you lie about that? It's such a...
Why would you believe it? Girl, why would you believe it?
Strange thing to lie about. And just everything was fake. So while I can't immediately tell that she is alive, I can tell that he is a extreme pathological liar. Okay, part 12, get to the point. I confront him, obviously. I show up there the next day and I'm like, listen to me. This is what I know. You need to explain yourself right fucking now. And when I tell you this man is so good at his job, you guys, because here's the thing. I'm here accusing a man of faking his mother's death, okay, with no hard evidence. I have evidence that he lied about, like, the condition.
And, you know, now that I think about it, I feel like you could also look up in the local newspaper when someone has passed away. I feel like they also put it in the newspaper. So there's so many different ways you could have figured out that this man was lying to you.
In which he grew up, but I'm not sure that she's alive. So I can't, like, with full confidence, like, come at him in that way. So I'm kind of hoping that he just, like, confesses, and he doesn't. He made me feel so fucking horrible for ever possibly accusing him of lying about something like that, because who would ever lie about something like that? And I felt so disgusting and so guilty, and I literally could not, I thought I was going crazy. And here's the thing, I grew up very poor, and obviously I had like drug addict parents and stuff, and like he knows that, and I've told him a lot about that. So it was like weird to me that he would lie about, like, pretend to have grown up super rich. But I also know that like some people are like ashamed of the way that they grew up and stuff. So it's like, how am I really, I don't know why I'm making excuses for him right now. Like, why the fuck are you lying about how you grew up? Literally, why? For who? But I admit my fault. I stayed with him, okay?
Yeah.
I stayed with him, and I know I was wrong. I don't know what I was thinking. Looking back on it now, I'm like, are you literally kidding? But I stayed with the man. But I still had my doubts, okay? Now all of a sudden I'm watching him differently. Every single thing that he says, I just assume is a lie. And we're fighting constantly about everything. I remember one night he literally started hysterically sobbing because I said, as a joke, that Kid Rock was hot. All right.
If you think I would have stayed with somebody who was crying over me making jokes at this big age, ooh, that makes me irritated. Absolutely not. No.
Part 13, lucky for him, I want to go to bed soon. But I will spare you guys the details of how I found out that I was getting cheated on, okay? But boy, was I. Y'all have seen him. Like, was I wrong to think I didn't really have to worry about that? It's truly amazing what he was able to accomplish. But he was, in fact, cheating on me with so many people. Like, literally, and like I said, we spent every single second together. So if I, like, matched up the timelines, it would be like we were, like, laying in bed watching Bridgerton, and he'd be, like, sending a dick pic to somebody else. So that was something. And that is ultimately why we did break up. But
that's why I said you should have been on your phone. That's exactly why I said you should have been on your phone. Because how was he able to send a schlong pic and be like, ding dong, here's my ping pong, but you wasn't able to get on your phone and look at nothing? Girl, I would have started throwing temper tantrums. Since you throw temper tantrums when I look at my phone, I'm gonna throw a temper tantrum when you look at your phone. Since we on that childish type of time, we in here during COVID, that's what I'm gonna do. Because how are you doing this right in front of my face? And why didn't you say nothing to him when he was doing this?
What's interesting about that is we broke up because I accused him of cheating, and he couldn't believe I would ever have the nerve. He was fully cheating on me. Like, but can you believe that? Like, he broke up with me. Like, how embarrassing is that? I shouldn't even tell you that. But you guys know that story. I was a wreck. Not handle that well. I was not doing well. It was a really, really rough time. All right. But it was only then that I had the confidence to bring the mom thing back up again.
Okay.
So we're on the phone, and I'm hysterically sobbing, and I'm asking him, how could you do this? Blah, blah, blah. Do you need to be institutionalized, etc. And I ask him, also, why did you fake the death of your family? And of course, he denies it. And I then tell him, I've been talking to your mother. I had not been talking to his mother, but
good lie.
That got him. He finally admitted that he did, in fact, fake the death of his mom and his brother. His dad is dead. Not that that's a good thing, but that's one
the only truth
out of 3 that are dead. The rest are still kicking. So I guess it's like a positive. If you think about all his songs about how he like just wishes he could talk to his mom one more time, it's like, call her.
Yeah.
Anyway, it has now been 2 years since we've broken up, and he had the nerve to post a TikTok today saying that I cannot let it go. And I just want to go on record and say, no fucking shit.
What?
Apparently his new song comes out on Friday, and the man will do anything to get a stream. So honestly, you guys, do him a service. He needs money for therapy. And if you take nothing else away from this story, just know that treating underlying mental health conditions is very important, because had I known what was wrong with me, I would have never gone near that man to begin with. A lot of people ask me like, well, did his accent ever like go in and out? Like, did you ever notice that he like didn't have an accent? And truthfully, he never, almost never had the accent with only me, okay? Like, he would turn it on when my friends were around or when we're at dinner with people or whatever, and I was like, okay, slay.
My mom does this. Like, my mom, if she goes to like a Mexican restaurant, she'll start having a Mexican accent. If she goes and gets her nails done at a Korean place, she'll start having a Korean accent. If she's around Nigerian people, she'll start having some sort of Nigerian accent. It's like, Mom, just talk normal. Stop doing people's voices. They do not want to hear you talk back to them. It's so irritating, and it's so funny at the same time, because she act like she don't realize what she's doing. So him doing this, I would have been done clocked out and been like, why you keep on acting like you got an accent and we know that you don't? Now you was over there talking to Clarissa, you had your little accent on. Now you over here, you talking to me normal. Boy, stop. Just stop it here.
But like, you know, he's a performance artist, but I didn't really think that much of it, because obviously like I'm American, and I just figured like he was like mirroring me. Sometimes if I felt like he was really being irrational, I would record our arguments, because I'd like to show them to him the next day. He knew I did this, by the way. This is not illegal. And you can, there's just nothing Australian about him. I'll let you be the judge.
It's uncomfortable. You can say it to fucking anyone else. You can go with Tana and say it. When I'm in that room, you don't. Because I'm saying it right now, I'm uncomfortable. You want to keep saying things I'm uncomfortable about? Keep going. I'm just gonna be like weirded out. I'm gonna be like, oh wow, that's crazy. Something I brought up to my girlfriend that I said was uncomfortable. She doesn't acknowledge it nor respect that I am uncomfortable about it, and she doesn't want to stop saying it, even though it doesn't demoralize her personality or her value.
You literally don't even know what that means.
It doesn't demoralize your personality.
What are you even talking? What are you talking about?
Here we go. Turn off.
That is not what demoralize means.
I don't know how much more I want to talk about it. I mean, your videos are cracking me up, but I don't want to venture into like tacky territory. However, we do of course have to address the statement that Clinton put out, because
Yeah,
it
girl.
is so funny. I would like to take it piece by piece, okay? Starting with Clinton Kane and Brooke Schoefield had a brief 3-month relationship over 2 years ago. To which I reply, why on earth would I want people to think I dated you longer than I did? Next, we have Brooke's recent comments regarding Clinton are untrue. No, they're fucking not. Okay, this part is like one of my favorite elements of the story, which is like the random side quest he decided to go on when people started finding things out, where he made up an imaginary new woman who was a mother figure to him, who was actually the one who had died, okay? The rep says that the mother he referred to in the interview with Sang was actually a very special mother-like figure in his teenage years who sadly passed, not his biological mother, as was assumed, which, what do you mean was assumed? Like,
But he told you that. He told you that.
Clinton genuinely felt like he had lost an irreplaceable mother figure, okay? This might hold up for the Zach Sang interview, but I was his girlfriend, okay? I was getting stories from like the time he was born to the present, okay?
Exactly.
With names, all right? Which is how I looked his little mom up to begin with, okay? It was one mom, all right? It's the same mom I heard about every single day, and that is the one he killed off, and that is the one who is chilling in Brunei. And this is not even the most concerning part of the statement. Now, I want to talk about the part of the statement that really got my little feet kicking, okay? It reads, the public rehashing of these details is only an attempt to bring attention and focus on Brooke's podcast at the expense of tearing down another former boyfriend, a tactic that she has become known for. But if they had done any research at all, they would know that the canceled podcast listeners have known this lore all along, okay? I brought this to my TikTok audience for one reason and one reason only, okay? It is because that man called me a yapper. I mean this in the most humble way possible, truly. Like, I really, truly do. Canceled amasses more listeners in one singular week than Clinton Kane has in an entire year. I'm sorry. This article was published in Rolling Stone. Okay, Rolling Stone.
About you.
Who actually
about
reached out
Brooke.
to me in 2023, all right? Several times. You were already publishing a story on Clinton, okay? It was already a thing. People knew about it.
We love receipts. And Brooke, see, girl, this is why you are homegirl. Because you said, you know what? You said I was yapping. I'm about to be yapping then. If that's what you saying I'm doing, guess what? I'm about to be yapping about it all. Because let me show you some receipts. And that Rolling Stone has reached out to her since 2023. That's a cool little like, and what? Look at me. What's up? Come on now.
Okay. Ultimately, I decided I wanted no involvement. As you can see here, I feared for his mental health. Okay. I didn't want anything to do with that because I couldn't do it in good conscience. They even offered to let me do it anonymously and I ghosted them. Okay. So please, Clinton's publicist, if you exist and if you are listening, please help that man. I have nothing to gain. I'm embarrassing myself.
This is him. This is him. This is him. This is the video that he had posted about her. He really thought he was showing out with this. I'm going to tell you right now, ain't nobody who paint their nails about to make me feel no type of way. No type of way. Ain't nobody with a little pregnant belly gonna make me feel no type of way. You ain't even supposed to be giving birth to children. But look at you. You look like you a drunk single mother and lost custody of your kids. Don't know which way you want to go, who you want to be with. But you're available. You're here for the taking. That's what you look like. And he really thought to himself he ate with this. You I wouldn't have been able to see past this face. I would not have been able to say to myself, oh, he has such a good vibe. He has such a good this. He has such a good that. No, this whole aesthetic. I'm like, Brooke, girl, are you serious? Girl, you're telling me that when you looked at him, you were able to overlook this. And y'all seen Brooke. Brooke is fine. No, that's how you know this was a drunken decision to like this man. That's what this was. This was you know what? I'm tired of dealing with men who are cute. I'm gonna deal with somebody who's ugly because maybe they'll treat me right. Newsflash, ladies, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. The ugly ones will treat you bad, if not worse than the cute ones. So you might as well get heartbreak from somebody who's fine. That's always been my motto, okay? Not somebody who looks like this. Why are your teeth overlapping? If you were so wealthy when you was a kid, why didn't nobody ever put you in Invisalign or braces? Because you was born in 99, which let me know the technology was developed. So why you have none of that help? You have no help with nothing. You ain't got no help with your hair, no help with your attire, no help with your outfits. You would have looked like been wealthy before, but you don't. And he's supposed to have the shakes. Girl, I don't know. Tell me what you think down in the comments. Tell me if you would have let somebody who looks like this play you. If you would have let somebody who looks like this say, oh, you're yapping. Girl, the way I would have ate this man up. Because who you playing with? Who you playing on? I have been the Just Casing brand. I am so glad that you tuned in. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment your thoughts down below. Make sure you're following me everywhere at the Just Casing brand and share this video with a friend because you never know who need to laugh at some drama and some gossip that ain't got nothing to do with us. Okay, I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.